interest rate decision yesterday, and you can kind of look at the market and see like barely nothing happened. Sometimes you get the interest rate decision and the market explodes, and we're seeing really aggressive momentum. We're seeing really strong trends afterwards. Sometimes it's a little bit dry, and you can barely tell that we actually had news. Excuse me. So yeah, very, very dry yesterday. Of course, we had a bit of a wick back and forth, but essentially the market is kind of just still in the same place that we left it last stream. So nothing really to go with in terms of the price action. I'm still looking for the same thing, which we've been talking about for a while. Still looking for the possibility for a swing back to the high there. We have tapped into this area here, really nice consolidation, really strong move to the upside. And since then, we've come back into that same area, as well as 0.618, if I'm not mistaken, of the fib, yes, as well. So a nice area of confidence there for the DXY, and we have had a nice bounce from that. Of course, big gap to the upside at the start of the week. I wonder if price can maybe go fill that gap, because I'm still looking for a push down for a higher low or potentially an equal low for the long. So I wonder potentially if we could go and fill this gap here and then see the move to the upside. That would be nice, because like I said, I'm looking to buy a little bit further down, and then we can fill the gap as well, and then hopefully after that we might see the continuation. But right now, market is very, very flat, and I'm not really seeing much opportunity here. Maybe if we do push back into the high there might be a nice sell intraday to go and fill that gap and potentially get that next retest for the buy. But essentially what I'm looking at for dollar is a move down for a move back up again. So that's really what I'm looking at in terms of the analysis. As long as price respects this market structure, we of course had the high there, higher low, higher high. So essentially I'm just looking for the next leg of this phase, looking at that as the retracement for potentially another push up. So that's what I'm looking at, but there might be some intraday shorts on USD in the meantime. In terms of EURUSD, excuse me, pretty much looking at the exact opposite as well. So again, there is our swing high just after we made that swing low, looking for the continuation of that move, which we created new lows down there. Now treating this as the pullback of that move for more downside. Again, we had a really strong reaction from this area at the start of the week. So looking to see again if potentially we can see some upside, see that lower high or that equal high, find some shorts on that entry, and then possibly take it back to the lows. And that is the plan with Euro, of course. Looking at pretty much them doing the exact opposite to what the DXY potentially might do as well. So it's nice to see them, those two markets in sync pretty well. But EURUSD very bearish, still in a comfortable downtrend. If price does start taking out this high here, that's where I will rethink the bias, because at that point we're breaking structure. So I would be looking at something like this going forward, and perhaps a pretty big move to the upside for Euro. So if that does happen, I will of course change the bias. But for now, we haven't taken out structure yet, so still looking at more downside. In terms of pound USD, still trading more or less around that 1.25 area. Price did come to that level early in the week, respected it pretty well. Nice reaction. So again, I'm looking for something like this to happen for some shorts. And again, if everything does go well, possibly a push back down to the lows. Been very consistent with these lower highs. And again, similar to Euro, made a lower low, lower high. And of course, this is our leg, which gave us our new lows. So again, looking for the continuation of that. We've got these prior lower highs to reference, one over there, second, third. Looking for number 4 in that phase, really, and the continuation back to the lows. And again, as I've spoken about a few times, we've broken through that kind of ascending channel on the daily chart, which is connecting kind of these highs and those lows there. And price has broken through that. So as long as we can stay below that channel, there is a good probability that we do continue lower. And that's, of course, we do something like that, then we might see some upside. But for now, still pretty bearish here on Euro, keeping close line 1.25. That's really where I want to find my entries and possibly swing it back down to the lows. Moving on to USD CAD, I'm pretty sure we're still in a consolidation. Yes, we are. So again, no kind of major updates for this one. Still stuck between major support and resistance. Possibly there might be a nice sell after we respected the high, another push back down to the low at 1.429. If you're looking for a bit of range play, this is not a bad opportunity for it. Shorts here, stop loss above the high Maybe I probably wouldn't enter right now because risk reward's not looking that great. It'd be best to kind of get the entries close to the high as possible. But essentially, we have respect to the high pretty well there. So we could be seeing another drop there for dollar CAD. But like I said, I'm not really interested in that price action. I'm waiting for price to break the high or break the low and then find opportunities off the back of that. Because once we do break the high or the low, then I know there's momentum. Then I know we probably have a bit of a trend or a likelihood of a trend. Of course, there is possibility of fake outs, but if we stay below, the likelihood of a trend is pretty high. And that's the type of momentum I'm looking to get involved with. As I've spoken about with dollar CAD in the weekly chart, we still have resistance up here, which I expect price to get to. And there is still a big level down here, which we might break to the downside first to go and retest before seeing that bigger move. So either which way, whether we break to the high, there's upside targets. Whether we break to the downside, there's a level price could potentially get to as well. So either which way, there's opportunities and healthy targets to aim for as well. So yeah, dollar CAD just waiting for the green light for us to break out of that range. Aussie dollar still very short bias. Again, I've been looking for a bigger pullback for this one. We've taken out some major lows. Don't get me wrong, long term, I still do see us pushing all the way back down here to the COVID lows. So in my book, there's a long way to go for Aussie dollar. And same thing with New Zealand dollar, which we'll get to in a moment. But I still do see more downside. But again, looking for a slightly bigger correction since we have taken out these lows. We have seen a type of correction, so it's not like we haven't seen any upside. We have seen some upside here. It just hasn't been that big of a correction given how big of a move we've seen. But if price was to get back to the high here, I may consider looking for some shorts. Oh, did not mean to do that. If price does get up there, I may consider looking to get into some shorts from that area, 0.632, big double top, and a continuation. My still preferred area is this daily low here, but we may not get there. So I will look to see what we can do at that high if we even get there as well. I know at the moment we're looking pretty bearish, but we might see another swing to the upside. We are pretty corrective right here, so we might see a push at some point this week. So looking for entries up there. If not, I'll look to see what we can do at 0.638. But again, the idea is looking for more downside, treating this as a pullback, looking for shorts. So those are my two areas of interest. And of course, in terms of targets, right back to where we came from, back down at those lows at 0.61359. In terms of New Zealand dollar, very bearish on this one as well. Same kind of situation as Aussie dollar. The COVID lows are not too far away from this one, actually. COVID lows are only just over here. So it's actually pretty close. But again, I do think price is likely going to take out those lows pretty soon, whether we push to the upside first and then make the move, or price is just ready to crash and do it now. That's up to New Zealand dollar. But again, there is still room to the downside, still liquidity underneath this low here and this low. And I do expect us to continue. We've been falling to the downside for quite a while. So that's probably where price is going to get to in the next few weeks. It's just up to New Zealand dollar, whether we get a bigger pullback first and then make the move, or we might sell off already. So again, with New Zealand dollar, I'll see what we can do back at this high here. Possibly that might be the best place for an entry for me if the market does want to have a bigger pullback. But if we do have a bigger pullback, there are a couple of areas that I will consider shorting from this area here and also from this area here as well. Two big levels on the daily chart. Should we see price come into those areas, there's a good chance we do see a reaction. Of course, whether it takes us all the way back down to these lows is a different question, but at least we're trading some areas where we could see some high time frame sellers step in, maybe some buyers take profit, and we could get a reaction in our favor. So that's really what I'm looking at for New Zealand dollar, expecting these lows to be taken out. But just how big of a pullback will we see? Those are the areas I'm looking at to short from at the moment in time. And in terms of gold and silver, so gold, last time I checked, looking pretty bullish, and yeah, we're looking pretty bullish. So yeah, very close to testing that 27.20 level. Unfortunately for me, price didn't quite do that, and now it's looking really bullish. So I was looking for entries at this level here. I still am. If price does suddenly drop to the downside, I'll be there and waiting, although it's probably looking pretty unlikely now. But again, expecting new all-time highs for gold pretty soon, and looks like we may be on our way to doing that. Just above 2790. Yes, they mentioned this 2800 level, big psychological level. Could see price attracted to that area there once we do take up the highs. But yeah, very, very strong close this morning. Really strong close on the 4-hour chart. Momentum intraday is looking pretty strong as well. So it probably is pretty unlikely that we do see that bigger pullback. So if you are looking at gold, I'll probably stick to the lower time frames. You might still see some type of correction like this, which could give some nice buy opportunities, maybe probably sometime tomorrow, because that will need some time to develop there. So again, there could still be some opportunities intraday, but that break and retest on the 4-hour level is probably not going to happen at this point in time. So gold longs look really good, really nice bullish structure, really nice move there, another nice move there as well this morning. So it's clear that that the buyers are in control of the market right now. So pullbacks, retest the high here, could be a great place for some longs, and I would target the all-time highs there, or at least the high there on the left at 2784. But yeah, gold, definitely expecting more upside for that one. And silver, yeah, silver's weird. Again, silver I'm still very bullish on as well. I mean, gold's looking very bullish. It looks like it's about to make new all-time highs, whereas silver is lagging behind big time. So I do think silver's got a lot of catching up to do. And again, I'm still a buyer of silver, or looking to be a buyer of silver anyway. But as I said yesterday, price is still very, very corrective in this channel here. So it's not really attractive to trade right now. And if anything, it might still be a correction of this leg for a continuation. And I'm not really interested in that just yet. So for silver, I do want to see price really show me confidence and break through the high here, which looks like we're seeing. And it could leave behind some nice longs there for us, maybe next week sometime. So silver, I do expect this one to slowly catch up with the pace of gold. I'm expecting silver to come back to the highs all over there. So that's kind of why I like silver, although the price action right now is not looking so bullish. I know we are putting these higher lows in, but they're very, very corrective, and we're not really seeing much momentum there. So hopefully this next bullish leg can really give us some healthy momentum. But the reason why I like silver so much is because we've got a long, long way to go to get back to the high, which means, there will be numerous opportunities, hopefully, for some pullbacks. Whether you catch the next one or the next one after that, there probably will be another one to come, because there's so much distance between current price and that swing high. So that's why I like silver, because there is a lot of potential there. But yeah, very, very bullish, just waiting for price to kind of clean up, really.